Hi, how are y'all? If you would do me the honor, just give me a sound check, okay? For whatever reason, while I was doing the intro there, it I hit the mute button. I didn't even know I did it, and I think I unmuted it. But y'all know how paranoid I am. Connor P Gaming, hello. Hi, Dannon. She's just always so pleasant. There's Tori again. And just pain, don't deny you're in pain. Hey, Caleb. Hi, how are y'all? Sounds good. All right. Well, let's get this road on the show. I'm going to keep continuing this talk about Samantha Boyette. Hey, love watching your videos on YouTube. Thank you, Samantha. Sam Weber, hello. Hi. I'm going to keep talking about this for a while because this is not apparently not going away. And I knew it wouldn't anytime soon. The overturn of Roe v. Wade. And I put up another poll, and I only put this poll up just like a few hours ago. I try to put these polls up the night before, but oh my goodness. Oh, that's so much better. I almost felt naked. My little alien light wasn't on. I feel so much better now. But I normally put up these polls a little bit. I try to do it the night before. That way I get a better sample. But I only put this up a few hours ago. But before I get to that, I've got a kind of a special announcement. Dana and she'll remember, Toy will remember, a few others. Last Saturday, I had a debate, and it was with this guy named Brian. Come to find out, his name is Brian Baxter. He gave his own last name. I'm not trying to dox him. And today, I heard back from Brian, and if I'm using my context clues correctly, he's mad, like big mad. So he wants to come back on, as I told him he could. And we're going to have a little powwow part 2, a little showdown part 2. And he wanted me to announce this. This is from Brian. Damn, you fucking lied big time. Let's do it again this Saturday so I can wipe the floor with your lying ass. It will boost your viewership even more. This time I'll speak directly to your viewers. Won't be no softball either. Count on it. I went easy on you because it was your show. I will bring the heat this time. Fucking liar. I said, okay, sounds great. I'm already booked for a night, so is tomorrow good for you, 8 p.m. Eastern? I totally forgot he couldn't come on till Saturday. No, I can only do weekend, Saturday or Sunday. Unlike you, I have a real job and don't get off work until 10 p.m. So, okay, Saturday then. Excellent. Tell your viewers I'm coming back for another Caleb Leverett ass whooping, and be sure to tune in. And of course, I gave him a little heart for that because that's the spirit, Brian. That's what I'm looking for. That's exactly what I was wanting to get on here. I'm looking for the real you, man. I'll get it out of you one way or another. I want someone who is fired up. Tell me how you really feel about me. That's what I'm looking for. So this Saturday, 8 p.m., Brian Baxter versus the Notorious Dad, Part 2, here on the Recovered podcast. And what do y'all think about my Recovered podcast name? I've gone back and forth on a few different ideas. I was going to call it, I can't remember the ones. Oh, Life is Pain, something like that. But I think I'm going to stick with, so far, it sounds like I'm going to stick with Recovered because I, Caleb Leverett, have been an alcoholic before. I can stand in those shoes. I know what it's like. I know what the temptations are. I know how expensive it is. I know how destructive it is. And I also know how fucking amazing it feels to be sober. Therefore, I proclaim myself as not an alcoholic, even though I used to be one. I am recovered. Wow, can't wait. I can't either. Dannon, I really can't. This is going to be really exciting. Like I said, I'm just using my little context clues that I learned in the 4th grade. And he seemed mad. I'm a liar. I mean, I can understand not liking me. I can understand disagreeing with my choice back then. That's what the whole debate was about back in the Parker movie days. But a liar. This is going to be interesting. I'm curious what I lied about. I don't think I was a liar. And I did tell him that if he had to come to Jesus or he changed his mind or wanted to come back on, y'all saw it. He knows how to get a hold of me. It's real easy to get a hold of me. This is the type I'm looking for. I want someone with a fire in their belly. Get on here and debate me and tell me why I was wrong. Why I was wrong. I mean, like I said, I don't have any. Brian, I hadn't seen his name trolling my account in a long time. A lot, like I want to say over a year, 2 years maybe. It's been quite a while. But this is the Brian I remember. This is the Brian, the shit talking, mad, angry, wants to tell me how it is. And now he gets the opportunity to prove in a live debate that I am, in fact, a liar. If you can. Skin flute. I'm also a recovering alcoholic. Much love. Skin flute. Y'all are funny with your names. I'm glad you are recovering. In my simple world, where it's just me and I'm the master of my own world, I am not recovering. I was recovering for about a week. It was awful. The night sweats. Wake up in the middle of the night and the bed and the sheets and my shirt were just soaked. Couldn't sleep. I'd doze off and I'd just shake and then doze off. My body would just it's like I've read that there's a name for that. There's some medical term for that. And I forgot what it's called. It's something your body does to wake you up as if your body was about to die. And it's some kind of jolt that your brain gives the rest of your body to like move to like get the circulation going. I'm really not sure, but it took about a week. And I used weed to get over that, to get through that, because they're miserable. That 1 week that I actually was recovering was miserable. It sucked. So skin flute, I'm so glad you are recovering. I cannot wait to hear how your progress goes, and hopefully you'll get to where I'm at and be fully recovered to the point where alcohol or no alcohol, you're not tempted by it. I promise you, people could just walk in right here inside my own tiny little shack, my own tiny little house loaded with alcohol, and I wouldn't even in the slightest, not even in the slightest, be tempted to partake. Because why is that? Why is that? Yeah, I'm recovered. I'm fully recovered. CPG gaming, I've been recovering for 2 months. I hope you keep it up as well, CPG gaming. I hope you're able to get to the point where I'm at. I think you can. I think I've got a theory. I think anybody and everybody can get to the point where I'm at, where they're fully recovered. None of this recovering stuff. That's what they teach, apparently, in AA, possibly even Al-Anon, Alcoholics Anonymous, or no. No, there's two different ones, I'm told. AA, that's Alcoholics Anonymous, and maybe it's Al-Anon, or I don't know. I forgot. I'll have to look that up. I wouldn't know because I don't have firsthand experience with any AA formal, I don't guess you call them classes, meetings. I've never been to an AA meeting, and I'm seriously thinking about going. I want to know. I want to learn. I want to learn how other people are getting through this. I want to learn what other coaches are telling other people who have struggled or are struggling with alcohol. It's interesting to me. I never thought when I was a kid that this would be my life. This would be that, or that would be my life, who I was, that I was Narcotics Anonymous, that I was one of those people. Homeless in America, Narcotics. Yeah, I know there's Narcotics Anonymous. I am familiar with that one as well. I don't know if they're under the same umbrella as AA. I'm not sure. Again, that's part of the reason I want to go on this. I want to find out. I want to see firsthand what these people are doing and learning. I think, Tori, I think people should go back and rewatch the Parker video as a refresher for the Saturday night debate. Yeah, here. Oh, yeah. Let's give a round of applause for that one. Good idea, Tori. Be kind of like our own little book club. An old friend of mine, old former girlfriend of mine, texted me and said, I need to start a book club. Okay, dork. Why? What the hell is a book club? Oh, it's just for a bunch of people agree to. Hell, something bit me. A bunch of people agree to read a certain book and then talk about it. Maybe I don't know. I mean, I enjoy books. I'm not an avid book reader. Like, it's not my daily thing, but maybe. But like Tori says, we can all watch the Parker movie. I don't even have to watch it since I am the producer of it. And according to some people, I scripted the whole thing. So, yeah, good idea. Go watch the Parker movie. And on Saturday night, while everybody else is out getting hammered and trashed and drunk as shit, making fools of themselves, ruining their livers and going broke, we here on the Recovered podcast, y'all can enjoy a friendly, fierce debate between me and Brian Baxter. And in part 2 of why I made, according to Brian, a bad choice. And hopefully this will prompt some of the other cowards. I mean, not, okay, that came out wrong. I really didn't mean to say that. I'm not saying Brian's coward. Some of the cowards, such as Back the Blue and Drunk Spilling the Tea and a few others, the ones that really currently shit talk in the comments section. Hopefully it'll prompt some of them to come on here. This is what I want. You are giving me, Brian Baxter, exactly what I want. I want a fierce debate. This is what I was looking for. I don't want softball stuff. If you got something good on me, man, I invite anyone and everyone that has something really damning on me that wants to prove that I've made all this crap up or exaggerated or whatever y'all think I've done to come on here and debate me. Maybe I didn't make myself clear. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe I did. Maybe I should have told Brian up front. Hey, man, dead serious. Gloves off. Come on. If you want to take me down, take me down. You want to prove your point that you're right and I'm wrong? You have my permission. Have at it, man. And yes, I am going to get to the poll. Pana's not here to remind me. Oh, Pana, yeah, he's here. Hello, Tori. I've already watched it so many times. Yeah. Pana's he's a lifer. He's seen a lot of my stuff. Vampire Love. Oh, you're new. I don't recognize you. I just watched the Parker video. He did what I should have done at 14. My mom was the same way as his, and it took me until 24 to be able to get away from her. Well, Vampire Love, well done. Don't feel bad. Took me till I was 40 to get away from my own dad. Well, I mean, not get away from, but to just get to the point where I'm not dealing with this shit anymore. Well done. You got rid of him. You got out of there at 24. That's good. Lola, Brian made me so mad. Did he? See, some people said I made him mad. Apparently, I made Brian mad. So mad that he dropped some F-bombs and accused me of being a liar. It's going to be interesting to see. I want to see exactly. I mean, if I lied, if I did, I didn't intentionally lie. If I said something that was completely incorrect, correct me. I'm happy to admit. That's just the thing. When I'm wrong about something, I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. That's why I never was a big risk taker. Not a conscious risk taker, because the results of getting caught doing something you kind of shouldn't have done. I've never wanted to, eat crow and admit it. I don't like admitting when I'm wrong, but I will. It's because if someone's got the proof, they just got the proof, and it's. Lola says, "Vampire Love, congrats on having that strength." Hell yeah. Leo Bass, Back the Blue, like the movement. No, that's the name is the same. It's this super troll that I thoroughly enjoyed squashing the other night. Last night or the night before, I can't remember. They're like Leo Bass, like that's your username. That's their username. It's called Back the Blue, and I thoroughly enjoyed wiping the floor with them. And what a moron they are, because they are. He, she, whoever they are. Rebel Nazarene, meme your thumbnail. The meme on your thumbnail is hilarious. Y'all like that? A stinker. I stole that fair and square from some Facebook people, Facebook friends. I've got some really hilariously raunchy Facebook friends, and they post stuff like that. And those are just the top people I like to hang out with. Anything with Skeletor. Skeletor's hilarious. Skeletor memes are the shizzle. Vampire Love, I am new. I just found your channel. I saw the video on Facebook. See? Did they just now, Vampire Love, did they just now put it on Facebook? Because usually when it's like it comes in waves. When there's a new, somebody will upload it on their own Facebook page as if it were their own. And it goes like really viral for a while and gets several million views every time someone does it. I'm just curious, Vampire Love, do you happen to know if they recently uploaded, or is this an upload from like 6 months ago or something, or a couple years ago? Panna, we should make a podcast just roasting Back the Blue and spilling the tea. That would be fun. It's fine with me. I hate giving them that kind of credit, I just, because I know they get their jollies off of it. Oh, I'm such a troll. He noticed me. Yeah, Shiro. My dad used to do drugs and used to use needles, and my sister found one and tried to run after me, trying to stab me with it. I'm terrified of needles. I'm Yashiro. I'm sorry to hear that. That's awful. That's one drug I'm glad I never tried, is anything in needles. Regina Scott, how are you doing? Are you doing anything for the 4th of July? Nope. I have long since not partaken of anything of significance on the 4th of July in well over a decade. And I hate to sound like that. I know I sound bitter. But the land of the free locked me up for being a good dad, contrary to what Brian says. And it just pissed me off. I'd already questioned all that even before then, but after they did that and locked me up and stole my kids and all that good stuff, nope. No, you don't get any praise and stuff out of me out of that. I enjoy living in a country where I can openly mock and make fun of and criticize the government, and I think it's beautiful. It's I think it's amazing that we can do that, because there's a lot of places, particularly if they're run by religious nuts, where if you speak out against the wrong God, then Connor P. Gaming. Caleb, my dog passed away yesterday. Well, damn it. I'm sorry to hear that, Connor. That sucks. The last dog I had that I know of that passed away, his name was Jet. And Jet was my black lab. He belonged to my grandfather. And he got him, I think he was born, I graduated in 1995, so I got him in 1994. And Jet Boy, he's a pure black lab, goofy as all get out. Love that little dog. Big dog, actually. Got bit by a rattlesnake twice, and the first time it made him all swelled up. Had taken him to the vet. Second time, it just didn't really bug him. I guess his immune system built up. But he passed away 2007, I believe, when I got divorced, and it sucks. So I'm sorry to hear that. Vampire Love. It was on before, but then it was back on my feed today. Okay. Interesting. That's okay if you didn't know exactly. Saying, what up with the mid debate flossing, by the way? It seemed like an OG move to me. Show dominance. Yeah, kind of. Just, that's just who I am, man. This is who I am. Like I said, I had some personal friends that I know personally text me saying, dude, you're kind of a dick, Caleb. You're a little hard. If you want people to come back on your show, you might not want to insult them. So, but I'm trying my best to be fair. I mean, hell's bells. He jumped and said, I want to come on and tell you how much you're wrong. And as soon as he was available, I made it happen. Apparently I made him mad. So he jumped again just today. I just got that message today. Just today. Hey, I want to come back on, asshole, fucking liar, whatever you call me. I want to do it again. So I'm trying to be fair. This is who I am. My birthday, Yashira, my birthday is July 7th. My cousin died in my aunt's stomach. We were born a week apart. Oh, and every year for my birthday, I do lanterns in the sky for however age we're turning. The next time I'm doing 14. Well, how sweet. When you use the cowboy emoji, me? Yeah, that's kind of that's my ornery emoji. All righty, I'm going to get to the poll. Panda didn't even have to remind me this time. I remembered on my own. Let's see. We're going to go to... Oh, before we get to that, yesterday, I mistakenly had something wrong with my Rodecaster. And hang on just a second. Let me get this. My one-track mind won't let me do one thing at a time. Yesterday, I tried to play a video by Carrie Wedler. And Dwayne, DSD, called me afterwards, and we chatted for a while afterwards. And he took the time to help me go through my Rodecaster and figure out what the problem was. And this clip that Carrie made a day or two ago was regarding the overturning of Roe versus Wade by the United States Supreme Court. And when I played it yesterday, there was this horrible echo. It was picking up the loop twice. And I think I figured it out. So what I'm going to do this time, so I don't screw up and play it forever and y'all just be, ears going crazy, I'm going to play it for like 2 or 3 seconds. And then there's a 2 or 3 second delay. And if y'all would, let me know if you can understand her. Now, keep in mind, she talks really, really fast. So even if it is operating normally, just be prepared. She talks really, really fast. But that's just how her brain works. She thinks really fast, too. She is very, very intelligent. So here goes. I'm going to play this just for a couple seconds. And then I'm going to confirm because I'm anal. And I want to, main thing is I want to make sure it's right. I want to make sure I'm trying my best to learn new things. This is all new to me. Yes, I've been doing YouTube for a long time, but I haven't been doing it on a Mac with headphones and a Shure microphone and a Rodecaster and being the producer and the host and all at the same time. This part is new to me. So here goes. I'm going to play it.
Forget Roe v. Wade. The real issue is the indoctrinated belief that 9 mortal humans in ridiculous costumes appointed through creepy cult rituals.
Okay. There was about a 5 seconds worth. Let me know in the comment section if that came out clearly and y'all can. Oh no. Dannon says there's an echo. Really? Slight? Okay. Okay, something seemed a little off about it. It's not going to sound like as if you were to just pull up Instagram on your own. I know that. I mean, it's going to sound like a recording of a recording. I just want to make sure it's not. Yesterday it was god awful. So is it god awful echo or just, slightly annoying? Okay, it wasn't as bad. So can y'all stand it for? I think it's only about a minute and a half, 2 minutes long. Can y'all stand it for that long? Cat Lover 96. There was an echo, but it wasn't nearly as bad. Perfect. Thank you. That's what okay, not god off. Okay. I'm going to let me take that off. I'm going to play it again. It's only 2 minutes, but I want y'all to hear. She's got a brilliant way of. She thinks so. Like I said, she is a fellow anarchist, and I've known her for years. But I only got to meet her sometime last year for the very first time in real life. And she's just as cute as she can be. She's sweet as she can be. And she is absolutely sharp as a tack. If you are a Republican and or a Democrat and you want to challenge her, I don't think she does challenges like debates, but just be prepared because she's really, really good. So without further ado, give me about 2 minutes and we're going to watch Miss Carrie Whittler. This is her one of her Instagram accounts.
Forget Roe v. Wade. The real issue is the indoctrinated belief that 9 mortal humans in ridiculous costumes appointed through creepy cult rituals have the authority to dictate the nature of your rights and liberties. Many on the left are claiming the court itself is illegitimate because justices were appointed by an illegitimate president. But the court proved itself illegitimate long before Trump. Over the centuries, this institution has ruled that cops have no legal obligation to protect or serve. They can be exempt from accountability. Government has a right to steal your property. Government torturers deserve government protections. No problem with throwing innocent people in internment camps. The government can decide what guns you can own. Eugenics is cool. Governments can force segregation. African Americans aren't citizens. And the government can imprison you for criticizing the government. Many, quote, good rulings reversed either the court's own bad decisions or those of other governments. Whether Congress or the court, a tiny fraction of the population makes decisions about your rights. This is not a check or a balance. It's the government allegedly keeping the government in check using money the government stole from you. No matter what, the government always retains its power, with all factions' authority underpinned by the same monopoly on violence. Even if you trust some people to rule over others, this paradigm ensures that people you don't trust will seize the same power and attack rights you care about. You don't actually have moral authority to rule over anyone but yourself. Whatever your partisan ideology, so-called representation via a handful of mortals scribbling words on paper with authority allegedly authorized by other words on paper is illegitimate. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
And unmute myself. I'm curious. Thoughts? What do y'all think of Miss Carrie Whittler and her approach? She doesn't take sides as far as political. Like me, she does, to the best of my knowledge, she'll find certain things that a party may do and say, hey, I agree with that particular issue. For instance, the BS lockdowns that happened last couple of years. Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida is a Republican, and I shit talk Republicans all the time. But it just so happens, I just happen to agree with Ron DeSantis on that it's pure BS to do that. So the point she was getting is, when Roe v. Wade passed, that political left was just happy and ecstatic. And the right was disappointed and angry and mad. And then last week when it got overturned, the opposite happened. So Leo Bass says, meh. Rebel Nazarene, the echo at the beginning of the video was bad, but then it virtually went away. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. I don't know. And Pana, I don't know what that means. Soccer balls and healing and broken hearts and cactus. All righty. Well, maybe y'all didn't. Maybe y'all just aren't quite ready for that part of my life. I liked it and I enjoy her content. And now I'm going to get back to the point that I wanted to do this whole time, which is I'm going to go over that poll, the poll that I made just a few hours ago. Share screen, Chrome tab. Which one was it? Maybe. There we go. No. Well, this will make sure y'all are seeing the same thing as I am. Yes. Let me go back to it. I have to go to yeah. Refresh. Here we go. This was posted 5 hours ago, and I only got 241 votes. That's why I like to post it the night before to get a bigger sample, 600, 800, or 1,000. And here's my poll that I asked. If women have an inherent natural right to choose, we all know what we're talking about here. I didn't know if I could put the abortion word typed out or not. I had to be careful. If women have an inherent natural right to choose, should men have an equal and natural inherent right to decide whether or not to pay or be involved? I'll be reading the results and your comments on this poll tonight on the podcast right here on this channel at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I have to admit, I'm quite surprised. I thought it would kind of be a little more closer to 50-50, but apparently, yes, I support equal right for men to choose, 84%. And no, I do not support equal rights for men to choose, is 16%. So 84% of the people who, if assuming they accurately read, and on polls, I wished I wanted to give I would have liked to have written, like a paragraph or maybe a couple paragraphs to make sure they understand exactly what I'm asking. But, polls are what they are. I didn't want to just go into, I was trying, they say brevity is the soul of wit. I was trying to keep it short and to the point. What I mean by this, or in case I wasn't clear, if just assuming if a woman has a natural inherent right to choose whether or not to abort or keep the baby inside her womb, if that is the case, then on the other hand, do men have the same natural inherent right, the man who put the baby in there, the sperm cell in there to create the baby, the zygote, the fetus, whatever you want to call it, does the man have that same natural inherent right whether or not to participate, or I put in there to pay or be involved, to pay for the doctor visits, to pay for the cost of raising kids, since we all know it's very expensive, and to prove it's very expensive, the family court's involved. Hello, there's money there. They're going to get their sweet, sweet free money. Does the man have an equal right to say, okay, well, like let's just say the man, a couple had sex, and a woman or mother to be wants to keep the baby, and the man's like, you crazy Tinder date, I want nothing to do with a baby with you, I don't even know you. And he decides he doesn't want it, but she decides she does want it. Does he have, in a perfect world where women have control of their own bodily autonomy, that's the catchphrase they use, if they've got complete control of what's the say-so and happens in their body, does the man who equally participated in it have the right to say, okay, well, if you're going to keep it, that's your choice, but my choice as a man is, and this is just a hypothetical, because we can do hypotheticals when we're talking hypotheticals. Jab, jab. Does the man have the equal right to say, if he doesn't want it, then no, I'm not paying for it. I don't want anything to do with it. When it's born, you're on your own. I'm not going to be his father. I'm not going to pay for any of it. Does he have the same equal right to participate? That's what my intention was. That, it's taking me 5 minutes just to describe what I wanted to be able to put that whole thing, but it's just a simple poll. I was trying to make it as short as possible. And according to this poll, 84% of the people, yes, I support the equal right for men to choose. Now, to choose, I mean, that could be they choose they want to be in the baby's life. Okay, let's say she just really regrets it, like really, really regrets it, but she wants to keep the baby. And she doesn't want anything to do with him because, like, let's say she was drunk that night. She wakes up and realizes, oh God. Here in a couple of weeks, she realizes she's pregnant and she knows exactly who the baby daddy is. And oh God, he's awful. He's ugly, or he's short-membered, or whatever her reason may be. Maybe she doesn't want anything to do with him because maybe it was just one of those regretful one-night stands that so many of us have unfortunately had. But he's decided, okay, well, good. I'm glad you don't want anything to do with me because you're just as nasty as well. But, if it is equal and he can say my body, my choice, my wallet, my choice, I'm not, just abort it. And she's like, well, no, I don't believe in abortion. It's my body. It's my choice. I can choose to keep it. So therefore, since they are expensive, does he have the right to say, well, tough shit then, lady, you're on your own because I don't want anything to do with you? Does he have a right to do that? Personally, I think, yeah, probably, yeah. If you're a woman, in my opinion, and you don't want to get knocked up by someone you're just repulsed by, then don't do things that cause it. That's my personal opinion. Because if fair is fair and equal is equal, because I support a woman's right to choose, I really do. But if fair is fair and equal is equal, then it's gotta be, equal. Equal means equal. You get the good and the bad with both ways. Okay, here we go. Angela C. Sampling is skewed as most of your viewers tend to favor father's rights. Okay, that's fair enough, Angela. Maybe it is. I only have one YouTube channel. If I had several other YouTube channels that I manage, then maybe I could put them on there. So yeah, okay, you're right. The sample is skewed. Yeah, there's viewers tend to favor father's rights. I tend to favor parents' rights, but that's just me. I've made it clear for years that I do not consider myself a father's rights activist. I'm a good parent activist, since, believe you me, I would know I'm in the position to where I've had loads of good mothers reach out to me and say, hey, I know you're right most of the time, but the family court, I got screwed too. And here's my story. I would know. Lola says it all depends. Luke Walker, I'm a big fan of Caleb, Leverett, Regina. You were talking to Regina. Angela C. Not always, but generalizing. I'm not sure what she meant there. Vampire Love. Yeah, men should be able to have that choice. They should be allowed to choose if they want to be in the child's life or not without consequences. Okay, that's Vampire Love's opinion. Vampire, yeah. This is Lola talking, especially when women trick the guy, because we all know that happens. Does it? I'm not a woman, so I guess I could have my opinion on it, but I'd love Lola. I can only assume you are a woman. I can see your forehead and your cute little kitty. And Lola sounds like a feminine name that a woman would have. So I can only assume you're a woman, and you are the one saying that because her words, because we all know that happens. Apparently, according to Lola, sometimes women trick the guy. I don't know. Does that happen? Penna, refresh the page before you read the comments. Okay, I will. Thanks. Thanks for the tip. Vampire, exactly, Lola. My mom did that to my dad. He wanted to be in my life, and she took us away from him. Lola, perhaps there should have to be legal papers that both agree he's not going to be around. That way she can't go back 10 years later and say, hey, he hasn't paid. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Isn't that weird? The litigious society in which we are in now? Like, think about it. DNA science, the science around DNA, hasn't really been around that long. I don't know how long. I want to say it came around. It got popular in the 70s, maybe. What else got popular in the 70s? Oh, that's right. Roe versus Wade. That got popular in the 70s. Title 40 child support funding. That got popular in the 70s. Anybody know? Anybody experts out there on when DNA became a popular science in proving paternity? That'd be interesting. Seems like there's a little correlation. I understand that correlation is not causation, but there's definitely be a correlation there. Jane Hornsey. Sadly, many questions are not black and white. There are so many different gray areas. I think she meant areas. Yeah, well, there are. And again, this was an informal poll. I'm not publishing this in the New England Journal of Medicine. It's just an informal poll that I put up to start the talk, to start the debate. Sam Weber. I'm 20 and I don't even have a person I'm going to marry in the future. Does that happen? Marriage? Yeah. I don't quite understand the question, but yes, it does have people get married all the time. Luke Walker, do you think a non-married couple should be able to have children together? Well, yeah. Why not? The idea of modern marriage, getting the government involved to bless your ceremony, that's I don't know how new it is. I think it's probably pretty uniquely American. I know there's marriage licenses all over the world, but people, non-married people, just because they don't have a government marriage license doesn't mean, if they want to call themselves married, they can be married. In my opinion, Doug Stanhope made that famous in a stand-up bit. Babe, what we've got is so good. Let's get the government involved. Tory, 1986 in a criminal investigation. I assume what he means, that's when DNA first started. I want to say it was before the 80s. You might be right. I don't know. I'm not an expert. Sup, Pepe D's nuts? Bro, I didn't even think about marriage until I was in my 30s. Good. I don't fuss at people if they absolutely know what they're doing. They do get married in their 20s, but golly, what is the hurry? It takes 25 years for a man to fully 100% develop anyways. What's the rush? You don't have to, this whole idea that you can't have sex before you get married is just bullshit mind control. And yet one more problem I've got with religion. I'm not saying go out and be promiscuous and just screw everything that walks, but at the same time, test drive, man. You're going to be stuck with this person the rest of your life if indeed that's what your marriage is about. Test drive. Again, you don't have to go out and be a complete whore. I've done it. I regret it. That's what happened in my drunk years, but you don't have to do that. But I promise you, if I ever do actually get married again, first and foremost, it will be between me and whoever my girlfriend is at the time. And if we decide to do the government marriage, it'll only be just for tax advantage, because we all know we're all just tax cows anyway, but it's not going to be something I do and the whole don't have sex before marriage. I think that's why some people might actually get married, because they've been told that they're a whore if they have sex with someone before they're married. And I simply think it's not true because I'm not a slut shamer at all. I test drove a few before I bought my lemon. We've all had lemons. It's okay. 1986 was fingerprint and an 87 DNA for a R case. Okay, I don't know if I could say the R word. Okay, I'll just have to take your word for it. That seems a little late, but you very well could be right. I don't know. It's still the 80s. I mean, you're right. The computers weren't around. Personal computers. Not to change the subject, but when I see 86, 82, it just reminds me of anybody else or Stranger Things fans. I love Stranger Things. The Duffer Brothers did such an awesome job at remaking. When you watch Stranger Things, I just feel like the music and the way people talked and the way they dressed, it's so 80s. They did such a good job. Lucky says religion is too controlling, in my opinion. I happen to agree with you there, Lucky. Rebel, some people believe they can just get married in the eyes of God without the government. But wait, don't you think abortion rates would significantly decrease if people waited for marriage? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I would imagine, again, not a woman, so I wouldn't know firsthand, but I would just be guessing if a woman was married and there'd be that security of a partner, someone they loved that they know or at least thought would take care of them for the next 18 years to rear this child. Maybe it would decrease. I think it probably would. Yeah, I do. Luke Walker, how are you supposed to know the girl you're dating is the one you want to spend the rest of your life with? Luke Walker, if I had the answer to that, I would be on an island all on my own that I owned with yachts. I'd be the richest man in the world if I knew the answer to that. That's an excellent question. It's a crapshoot. Well, that's not entirely true. You take your time. You get to know them. And that's the reason I talk about things like this on this program all the time is you don't want to get in a hurry. I would suggest there's a reason we go through these things, the ways you can tell. It's nothing surefire. Nothing ever is in life is surefire except taxes and death. But date for a while, a good long while, at least a year, probably longer. And in that time, probably several years, date for several years. And in that time, especially if you're young, and in that time, getting a few good fights. You have some really, really brutal disagreements on some things. Get into some debates and find out from your potential soon-to-be bride or groom. I encourage everyone to ask this. Ask them, and then as time goes by, make them prove it. Ask them, how do you resolve conflict? And if the answer is anything besides I get quiet and or I talk it out, if it's anything outside of that, just walk away. If they throw shit, they break shit, they holler and scream every single time. Every now and then people lose their temper a little bit. I get that. I mean, I'm not saying that's a disqualifier, but and then when you actually do get in a fight, if they say all I do is I either get quiet and or I talk it out, even if you get real animated, that's fine. But if they start throwing shit and hitting and breaking shit over your head and squishing your glasses or ripping up your books or taking your phone and smashing it, walk away. I don't give second chances on that. whomever I'm dating in the future, I will not ever give a second chance. If you hit me, I'm out of there. Don't come knocking at my door. Don't call me. Never contact me again, because much like Johnny Depp, you will never see the whites of my eyes ever again. Because if they'll do it in the first couple years, get violent like that, you can't change them. That's who they are. Walk away. Great question. I don't know if I know I didn't answer it completely, but that's just some of my thoughts on that. Lola, okay, so y'all can't get an abortion anymore, even if the child is sick or she has a miscarriage. Like, who gets to decide what you're allowed to do in the procedure or not? I'm not from the U.S. Apparently the government gets to decide now, Lola, or at least the federal government does not grant the right up for the woman to choose. Now, states, the individual states, here in the United States, there are 50 different entities that make up the United States. And so each state has its own jurisdiction. They've got their own governor that they elect, the head of the state. They have their own governing body, the local House, the representatives, state senators and representatives, and in their judges. I guess it's left up to the states. Personally, I think it should be left up to the individual, but that's just me. Sam Weaver, I was doing Hearts with Girls when I got kicked out of high school and stopped when I was 19. Does that count as dating marriages? I have no idea what Hearts with Girls is, dude. Pepe D's nuts. You can still get one, Lola. It's decided by states now. So if you live in a state that doesn't allow it, you can still go to that one that does. Yes. I would imagine there's going to be some really, really clever, sneaky lawyers that will use the Interstate Commerce Clause of the Constitution, which is the federal, supposedly the document that regulates what the federal government can and can't do, even though it doesn't. But I'm sure there'll be some kind of sneaky lawyer that'll say, well, you can't travel over state lines and pay money to go have your abortion in the state where it's legal. I'm sure that's coming. Lola, Pepe, but they're going to fight that, right? Crossing borders, or it said they're going to change that rule. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. I haven't seen anything that's happening yet. This is just me and my 45 years of life on this earth of watching blood-sucking lawyers do what they do. It's okay. I know some good lawyers, and the good thing about lawyers is they've got really tough skin. So I can tell lawyer jokes and insult lawyers as a whole, because it's just pretty much socially acceptable to do that. Even though I do have some personal friends that are lawyers, they know I'm just kidding. I'm not necessarily talking about them, but even they can't deny that their own line of work is just full of a lot of scumbags. That's why I can get away with it. Any of us can. Lola, never ever forgive cheating. That's a pretty good rule. Yeah. I've actually forgiven in the past, and I regret it. I won't do that again. That's just straight up lying. That's betraying. You betray me, you might as well break a vase over my head, or a phone, a cordless phone, or a remote or something. Yeah, I don't do it. If you're gonna do that once, you're like a stray cat. Once you're stray, you're fucking stray. You'll always do it. I'll just walk away. I agree. I wasn't always that way. I assume there's occasionally, sometimes there's maybe exceptions to some rules to a rule like that. Maybe it'd be on a one, but as a general rule, yeah, if you cheat, get the fuck out of here. I don't have time for people that aren't loyal. Vampire Love, they never said you couldn't go to Canada to get one. Yeah, they can reject your passport. They're not quite as strict on passports going just to Canada as they are like to Europe or something. But maybe. I love Canada. I've never been there, but I've got a lot of friends from Canada, people I know from Canada. But there's certain parts of Canada that are, they're just plumb full of Justin Trudeau types. Blech. Cannot stand that arrogant prick. Rebel. Talking to Lola, they use it for whatever sick ideas they have. Satanic secret societies or cannibalism and stuff. Shaking my head. Lola Canada welcomes anyone who needs help and love. I hope so. Like I said, I know a lot of Canadians, and I love. I've my favorite. Excuse me, Lola. I can only assume you're Canadian. My favorite television show is a mini series. Was made in Canada, and it's called Anne of Green Gables. And it was filmed in an area, and I believe it's on the eastern side of Canada. And I don't know my different provinces. I get them mixed up because I'm ignorant. But I'm pretty sure it's on the eastern side. It's called Prince Edward Island, and it came out in the mid '80s. I was a kid. I was like 10 or 12 or something when it came out, and I absolutely love Anne Shirley, the story of Anne Shirley, Anne of Green Gables, and Matthew and Marilla and Gilbert Blythe. That's all Canadian. And so I've got just a little soft spot in my heart for that part of Canada. I've always wanted to go to Prince Edward Island. One of these days, if I can ever get my damn passport back, I'm gonna go see Prince Edward Island, and I'm gonna walk in the fields where Anne of Green Gables was filmed. I just love it so much. Luke Walker, I met my wife Sarah at my job, and we're a happy married couple and just wanted your opinion. Okay, yeah, great. Cool, man. That's awesome. Why didn't we don't talk about that, dude? You're a newbie. We just don't. I will not talk about my Cheerin's personal lives, and I most certainly will not talk about my Cheerin's relationship with anyone else. That's just a big no-no. And maybe you're new. I assume that's why I assume you knew. You just didn't know, and I'm not mad about it, but I don't talk about that. Vampire Love. I'm originally from Canada. Man, there's lots of people originally from Canada. I mean, there's just lots of great culture and cool people, really badass stuff that comes out of Canada. Even some great memes. Canadian memes, y'all are like well known for being like extremely polite. I think they're great. Yeah, Lola, I'm in Canada. You don't like JT? I don't know who JT is. Who's JT? Justin Timberlake? He's Canadian? I assume that's who that is. I don't know. Oh, Justin Trudeau. No. Justin Trudeau is a joke and a globalist. Yes, he is just piss poor pathetic. I absolutely cannot stand that guy. I mean, there's like with Ron DeSantis, again, I'm not a Republican, and he's got some weird ideas on religion and even some kind of weird things on socialism regarding even fathers' rights bills that I just like, dude. But, he does some things like give the big red weenie to the shutdowners, people like the one to shut this country down. I think that's great. So I can find places where Ron DeSantis, where I really, really like the guy. But Justin Trudeau, barf, gag, cannot stand that asshole. Dannon de Terra. I was obsessed with Anne of Green Gables too. Oh my God, we're kindred spirits, Dannon. Maybe that's why I've just always enjoyed you being around. Another Anne of Green Gables fan. I just love that show. Maybe instead of a book club, if y'all want to get into the mind of Caleb Leverett and something that genuinely, actually, really, I would say that show probably helped form kind of who I am. Maybe that'll be our book clubby thing, is to watch Anne of Green Gables. I guess if you wanted to buy the book and read it, you could. It'd be a lot easier. Just watch the TV series. The TV series is just brilliant. It's brilliantly made. They did such a good job with the costumes, and well, I don't even want to talk about it too much because if there's people on here that haven't seen it, and maybe we do decide to do a book club type deal where we watch Anne of Green Gables to get into the sick mind of me. I don't want to give away it's been out forever. So, I mean, if you see a spoiler, it's kind of your fault, I guess, because you hadn't seen it, but just love that show so much. And it just makes me so happy that Dannon is a fellow Anne of Green Gables and Shirley lover. That's just amazing. Lola, PEI, Prince Edward Island is over by Maine. Yes. Okay. I thought so. It's gorgeous. I've never been, but heck, even the photos are perfect. Then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Tori, the way they treated the truckers was terrible. Yes. Justin Trudeau. That's just yet another slash against that asshole. The way they treated the terribles was absolutely atrocious. And I just hope that he either gets impeached. I don't know if Canadian law allows impeachment. I hope that guy goes away. And his ideals are just terrible for humanity. He's an arrogant prick. I actually know an independent reporter who is Canadian, and actually met him when I met Carrie Wedler last year. We were at an event, and this guy's sharp as a tack, and he's real young too, but he's really, really sharp. He's had interactions with and even gotten quasi interviews with Justin Trudeau, and he knows the guy. He knows the real guy. When the bodyguards are all around and how they really treat people. And I mean, I already didn't like Justin Trudeau before I talked to this friend of mine about it. Maybe I'll have him on. He does a lot of internet podcasts and stuff. He's actually got a YouTube channel. Actually, no, he doesn't. He got booted off YouTube. I better not even say his name. I might get booted. That's just terrible. But I might have him on. Panna, would you walk away if a family member hit you? A spouse in a fight? Yeah. I guess there might be an exception there. Maybe like if you've been married 20 years and it's just been absolutely overall, an A+ marriage, and I'm trying to think of a scenario where maybe one of your kids did something really, really dumb and y'all are split on how to deal with it. And now they're in jail, and maybe one or the other just slapped. Yeah, maybe that would be an exception. I'm talking about when you first meet someone and you're dating, the first year or two, and then they start it, then they hit you, then yeah, I'd walk away. A family member, like my grown dad or something, I've walked away for less. I don't think any of my kids ever would hit me because I've never hit them, but I don't know. I think I need to stop using chat for now. Bye. Okay, Sam. Well, again, Sam, I'm not mad at you. It's just one of those things I just can't talk about. What kind of music are you into, Caleb? Luke? It's from Luke Walker. Old 90s rock, old country, David Allan Coe, that era, 90s rock, 90s pretty much any music, hip hop, rap, all of it. It's just R&B. Some of the country, the 90s, that was the end of the era of country that I could stand. This new country is just awful. Mumble rap is just awful. Vampire Love, Justin Trudeau really is a joke. He's like so freaking dumb. I wouldn't say he's dumb. I think he's very intelligent. Unfortunately, he's an asshole. He's a con artist. And usually assholes and con artists, that's one thing they have to their credit, I guess, is they are intelligent. They make stupid decisions, but that's the decisions they make are dumb because they adversely affect the people. From their point of view, it keeps him loaded, rich, and wealthy. So for Faye Teeter, I love Trump. Okay. Trump's one of those guys. I would group him as far as politicians go, sort of kind of in the realm of our governor here in Florida, Ron DeSantis. I don't hate Trump like a lot of his, foaming at the mouth, screaming blue hairs hate Trump. He's not my favorite person. He is very fascinating. He's a fascinating human being. He really is. He is bigger than life, and he has a fantastic way of just pissing people off. I'm sorry, I find it funny. The some of the things about Trump that just bug me though. I saw an interview one time with Trump, and he was talking about his own daughter, Ivanka. Ivana is one of his former wives. Ivanka is his daughter, and she's drop dead gorgeous. She's younger than me. Trump's like 76, 77, but I'm pretty sure Ivanka is younger than me. And I'm 45, so she's probably in her late 30s, and she's drop dead gorgeous. But I saw an interview with him, and he said something like, if Ivanka wasn't my daughter, she's so beautiful, I'd probably date her. Oh, that made my head hurt. It just made my head hurt. And Trump's not exactly the most Second Amendment friendly guy. He did ban bump stocks, so he gets a strike for that. He did start Operation Warp Speed using taxpayer money to make the jabby jabs and pass them out. Was not a big fan of that. He did succumb to wearing the face diaper. I wasn't a fan of that. He did not pardon Ross Ulbricht when he had the opportunity. When he's leaving office, he gets a big strike for that. But at the same time, I'd if I had to have my druthers, I'd much rather have to deal with the policies of Donald Trump than to have to deal with the policies of Justin Trudeau. I'm just simply not a Trump fan. I don't hate him like his true haters hate him. Tori, I wish Trump wouldn't have been tricked into warp speed. My main thing against Trump. Yep. For those of you who don't know, Operation Warp Speed was to get as many jabs out there as possible. He was encouraging people to get the jabs. He gets a big for that one. Tara Lynn, I commented on the poll, but I'm going to post here too. Oh, I'm so sorry, Tara. I meant to get to it. I'm still new. Okay. I'm going to get to it, but I'm going to read your comment here. I do agree that men should have the right to choose equal rights. If women can, so should men. You already went all over all of my points. Okay. Well, thank you, Tara Lynn. And speaking of, since Tara Lynn reminded me, I'm going to go back over here. And what the hell? Okay, let's see. There's 241 votes and only 9 comments. Let me refresh it and see what happens. 250 votes. There's 9 more votes now and 11 comments. So thank you, Tara Lynn, for reminding me. I'm just going to go ahead and read some of these. Let me double check, make sure y'all are still there. Okay, I'm going to get her comment off of there so y'all can see it a little better. Let's just take me off. Yeah, you don't need to see me. That way y'all can read these as I go along here. Where the hell's... Oh, okay, I'm on it. Never mind. Here it is. Okay, Sticky Joe 105. Just because one side unfairly chooses the outcome of a child doesn't mean the other should as well. Fathers matter, and no matter what happens, the father figure is imperative to a child's growth and development. So, no, I disagree. Men should not have the right to choose, even though some people might believe that women do have the right to choose. If you made the baby, you need to deal with the circumstances. Okay, I kind of agree. I mean, I do agree. Men step up. If you screw up and get out there, However, I don't think that I think it ought to be on a personal basis. I just don't think the courts should be involved. Social pressure, talking about it on places like here, like, dude, come on, man. Step up. She's a good girl, or whatever the case may be. She's a sweet person. Maybe just you shouldn't have done the dirty, but that baby needs you. Yeah, I agree. I just don't agree that people should be forced by the family courts, because that, in my opinion, doesn't solve anything. That gets more government involved. Okay, Sarah Jane. Absolutely, yes. An absent father, whether the baby was planned or not, has an obligation to be in his child's life and to help towards costs. Most of the youth today in most countries who do not have a father figure to go completely off the rails, drugs, etc. I'm not saying all young boys, girls do without a father figure, but the majority do. It's a known fact without father figure, it's very damaging for the child. My ex-partner is a wonderful dad, and it's a shame he wasn't a wonderful partner to me. You can't have it all. I truly believe if you want a well-adjusted, happy child, quote, like you have, Caleb, your boys are doing great. Then it's nice to know that the father loves you and is there for you. There's too many kids with fathers, without fathers now in this younger generation, and it's out of control and very sad. Well, again, Sarah Jane, I think it is absolutely imperative if you're a man and you impregnate a woman, that child that needs you've got to be there for that child. There's like 450,000 kids in foster care right now, and I would imagine there's a lot more kids that maybe not need foster care, but their dad's not around for whatever reason. Sometimes they've got evil mothers that keep the father away because of money or whatever, and sometimes he's just a deadbeat and he just wants that nothing to do with them. At the same time, getting the government involved in forced mandatory child support is just it's a never ending. It's never ending. That lumps people like me who consider themselves good fathers. It lumps me in with their type of bad behavior. And I think social pressure, me and people like me or anybody talking to dudes, man, if you're a man, fucking step up, dude. Step up. If you didn't want to, raise a kid with that crazy woman, why'd you have sex with her? Same thing for women. If you got pregnant by some absolute deadbeat, what are you doing taking your clothes off for a deadbeat? Why? Why would you do that? I would imagine most people do it because of alcohol. That's right. Another reason why I absolutely despise alcohol. This is from Anand D's Nuts John Cena. Ooh, D's Nuts got a competitor here. Sure, it sucks in a couple scenarios. Say there was an accident, in quotes, and the woman refused to get an abortion. The fair thing would technically be for the man to be able to say, well, you choose not to abort it, I choose to support it. But that's not really how it works. Even though she's got the final say, you do have to support that child in the end, because accident or not, the baby came from you. Yeah, you should, but at the same time, be careful what you wish for, because these professional child support check cashers, they want that sweet free money. But if he's a true deadbeat and she hates him and she just wants him for his money. But I guess on one plus side, I hate to credit the family court for this. If he does pay child support and he is on the birth certificate and he isn't, if you hate him, then guess what? If he's paying, especially, I mean, he's going to get some time. You're going to have to send those kids over some of the time. They're going to be influenced by that guy you cannot stand that you chose to get naked with anyways. Dannon, just like mothers can give their children up for adoption, so can men. It sucks, but it is what's fair, technically. Yeah, they can. I was offered multiple times, Caleb, sign right here. No more money. Just sign your rights over right here. It was an option. I was pressured multiple times to sign the rights over my kids. Nope. My body, my choice. They're my kids too. Oh, Tara Lynn. I agree. Men should be able to choose. The woman could have lied and said she was using birth control. The condom can break, and even though she may be happy and want to keep the baby, if the father truly isn't ready for it, why should he have to raise and support the child he doesn't want? Women should have the right to an abortion if they're not ready, right? Men don't have that option. So yes, men should be able to choose. However, I think it is important for both parents to come up with some sort of document saying that the father and mother agree that the father wants. Okay, this is what Tara Lynn was saying earlier. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read all the way through. Some sort of document saying the father and mother agree that the father wants no part in raising the child, and so therefore the mother cannot come after him for child support in the future. That's a good point. Mothers, if you were drunk one night and he was just a handsome stud that you just had to get all over that one night, and then come to find out when the liquor wore off, you realize that he's not what you thought he was, which is very, very likely because of the nature of alcohol. And he expresses to you that that baby growing in your belly is nothing. He absolutely wants nothing to do with it. I would imagine, mothers, you probably want to take that into consideration. Yes, it'd be ideal to have a father involved in your child's life, even if y'all aren't together anymore. I mean, it's just a pretty well accepted fact, scientific or not. Kids that have fathers tend to just be better, well-rounded people. But if that guy doesn't, like, if he's genuinely like an evil, nasty, sick person, you shouldn't have done the dirty with him. And do you really want that person influencing your child? Because if you get him on child support, there's a good chance that he'll use it against you, and he'll say, all right, bitch, you're gonna punish me, I'll punish you, that sort of thing. And if I were a woman and I was pregnant with some absolute douchebag, I would, as much as I'd want the help, I wouldn't want it that bad. I wouldn't want the influence on my own child from a scumbag deadbeat dad. Okay, Nicholas Roque, yes. Okay, totally normal. Why do women have the right to kill babies? Whenever I do it, I get arrested. I cannot stand this. Well, okay, this is a joke. Christine Hall, every man should have the rights to help women. Every man should have the right to help women. I don't quite understand that. I don't understand. Every man should have the rights or right to help women. I mean, I help women all the time. I mean, various women. Most of my friends are women. Not married to them, don't have kids with them, and I might help them out, occasionally financially if we're close friends, or just to call me up if you need to talk to them, get something off your chest. I'm not quite sure though what you mean and how that's pertinent to the poll. Gill drop. If a woman can abort without the man's consent, then the man can opt out of child support without the woman's consent. Fair is fair. I think so. I mean, fair is fair. Even if, as much as I think that a man should morally stand up and be involved with that child, if a woman, if universally we're going to agree that a woman has the universal God-given inherent right to abort or to keep, okay, then the same has to apply. It has to be fair. If a man just really adamantly doesn't want anything to do it, he knocked her up, fair is fair. Then he ought to have the right to choose. Now, it that actually comes with a price too. There's people like me that would point out deadbeat dads on social media and in person. Like, I've said this for years. If like, for instance, a mother who is adamantly and on purpose keeping their children away from a man who loves his kids and wants to be involved with them, don't associate with them. Don't talk to them. Don't let them borrow a cup of sugar. Don't entertain them. Don't do business with them. Social pressure can be very, very powerful. I just don't support behavior like that. And same goes for deadbeat dads. Some scumbag. Yeah, he's funny at the bar and he's hilarious. He's got kids, women he's knocked up all over the place and doesn't want anything to do with them. Leaves a bunch of poor defenseless kids out there to fend for themselves and doesn't show up, or at the very least doesn't, at least send some, money to help them out or start a college fund for them. Don't entertain them. Stay away from deadbeat dads like that. Just shun them. Turn them away. Social pressure is a real thing. Eventually they'll get if it's done right, then eventually they'll get the idea. Don't behave badly and these things won't happen to you. Pen, the man decide to have sex. Okay, yeah. The man decided to have sex and lay his seed in the woman. If they use a condom, then he wouldn't have to be responsible. If they didn't, the man knew it was coming and should be held responsible as such. Okay, to what extent? To the extent that we have the Title 4D funded crooked family courts as we do today, is that what's going to hold them accountable? Because when you get that involved, then they just take reign over everybody. They want to be the arbiters of all divorces because they see that money and they want that sweet, sweet free money. And they're going to apply their justice equally across the board to all people, including people like me, because there are people who abuse the system. Obviously, there are gold digging mothers or mothers-to-be or mothers out there that absolutely use the system to come after men, not because they give a crap about it. They'll say that. They'll say it's in the best interest of the child, but when it really boils down to, far too many of them, they just want money. They know that 90%, if anything happens, there's a 9 out of 10 chance, a 90% chance if anything happens and it's Splitsville, they've got a free ride. They've got a judge and all the judges, cops to enforce an order to steal money, to get money. They know that. There is a financial incentive in the current family court, the way it's set up now. There's a financial incentive for mothers to dig for gold. And it obviously happens. I find it particularly interesting, like when a movie star or a basketball star gets divorced, and this 23-year-old kid, he's a basketball legend at age 23, and he's got these $50 million contracts, and he knocks some gold digger up, and then the guy winds up having to pay like $1 million a month or something crazy for the rest of that kid's minor life for 18 years. It doesn't cost $1 million to raise one child. It just doesn't. but they come after them for that. And so there's a financial incentive for these young gold digging women to go after these rich young stars like that. And they know no matter what, all she's got to do is just one condom to break, lie about one birth control pill, whatever, just get that one seed inside her, get pregnant. Boom. It's a money train. It's a big money train, and she's guaranteed loads of money for the rest of her life. So, oh yeah, I want to take that off. But there's me back. Oh my God, it's already an hour 25. It just goes so quickly. I'm kind of enjoying this topic. I'm going to go a little bit longer. There's quite a few comments here I'm going to get to. I won't go over 2 hours, but I may not go that long. But Mary Townsend, just like a woman can give the baby up for adoption, a man can sign all rights away. Yeah, like I said, I was offered that multiple times. Didn't take it though. Lola agreed. Tara Lynn, I said there should be legal papers when the man decides to back out just to cover himself years later. Isn't it interesting they're all debating what a woman should do, and no one is including the government in the decision? That would be ideal. And I'm not even saying it'd be a perfect world. I mean, there's always going to be problems, but there doesn't have to be that kind of inefficient problems. And like Doug Stanhope said, what we've got is so special. Let's get the government involved. And well, no, I mean, they should know that they had unprotected sex, and they should take responsibility on their own. Well, they should. People don't, but they should. Hollywood doesn't glorify that. Sex, drugs, and rock and rollers, they don't glorify that. And I'm talking to myself. I succumbed to that way of thinking years ago. I kind of wished I hadn't, but I did. My mother was divorced in 87. She gets alimony. She went back in 22 for more. Jesus Christ. No offense, but that sounds like a gold digger to me. I mean, divorced in 1987. She gets alimony. She wants more. She's going back for more. Man, wow. Move on. Alimony is a crime. Yes and no. And there's different types of alimony. The old traditional way of alimony is a couple got married. They might or might not have, even may not have had kids, and it's just to pay her off for time served in the marriage. Yeah, that's criminal. There are different types of, like in Texas, where that's not the default, but you can use alimony, such as in my case. I didn't want to lose my business. And so I was kind of strong-armed basically into, I don't think I should have done it, but I didn't have a choice in my eyes back then. We entered into an alimony agreement where I paid like $2,000 a month for, I think it was 12 years in order to not have to be forced to sell the assets in my business. I wanted to keep my business. But yeah, generally speaking, yeah, it's a fucking crime. It seems like TV. Mary Townsend, yes, keep the government out if you can. Keep the government out of as much as possible, including abortion. Just keep them out of it. Let women decide what they want. Hopefully, they make what I would consider the best choice, which would be to not kill the baby, not kill the fetus, not kill the zygote, whichever the case may be. But again, involving the government, it's just going to make things worse. in my opinion. Wait, what is alimony? Money, just theft. When people get divorced, they use it to get money out of the other person. Pepe D's, I was also offered no child support if I gave up all parental rights. Yep, me too, brother. I was completely offended and told them to F off if the kids only knew. Yep, and eventually they will know, because guess what? Cheerings grow up. And topics that were kind of off limits, because depending on their age when all this shit happened, they get bigger, and you can talk to your grown children as adults, and it's the fucking coolest thing ever. All my boys are legal adults, and I can talk to them just like any other adult, and we talk truth. So yeah, Pepe, I understand your frustration. I don't know how old your kids are, but there's going to come a time, and they can know the truth. They should know the truth. Gayeth, hey, I literally just came back from watching that video with Parker. Was surprised to see you live. Yeah, that was 9 years ago, and welcome to my fledgling little podcast, the Recovered Podcast. I've moved on. The kids are grown, doing well, and I'm not completely done with the family court crap. It still lingers on, which is mostly the reason I continue to do this. Mary Townsend, alimony is enslavement. It is. Yeah, it's again, there's two different types of alimony, but if you ask me, quarter mandatory child support's enslavement too. I think the default should be 50-50 custody in all divorce cases involving children. Like, for instance, in my case, we got divorced. Kids stay with me 50% of the time. I pay for everything they need. Kids stay with her 50% of the time. You pay everything they need. No crooked child support through Title IV defunded family courts. If divorced parents on their own want to give the other person money on their own accord, give all you want. Maybe your child support would only been, $1,000 a month. Maybe your ex-spouse, you all get along better when you're apart. One spouse does way better than the other one, and they just need a little help. Maybe they just say, well, here, I've come into a lot of money. Here, take 20 grand, go get a car or, whatever. I think that's how it should be. And if you don't like that, then be careful who you decide to make a baby with. If your only alternative is to use the government to be a gold digger and go after him or her for more money, for more of that sweet, sweet free money, it's a terrible idea. Tori, paying your ex for the life you were living together to still live that way without you in the picture. Yeah, that's what alimony is, basically. To maintain their way of life. Bullshit. If the marriage is off, especially if there's no kids and their marriage is off, split, get the fuck out of here. How don't you know what alimony is? Or yes, okay, there's talking someone else. Thomas, I think it is sad that they kill the child and they don't get to experience anything. It is. Yeah, life is cruel, man. It really is. There's no perfect solution to anything. Any solution to any type of issue is never going to be perfect, and it is sad. Like, personally, I am against abortion. I just think it's your own offspring, man. At the same time, it is her body. It is her choice, and the government getting involved in it is just a worse choice. Far, far worse choice. Whether it's good or bad, because as Carrie Wedler pointed out, the government can change its mind, as it just did. Banna, do you believe people abuse the word inappropriate? I'm not sure if I understand the question. Do people abuse the word inappropriate? Like say something is inappropriate that maybe isn't in order to get someone in trouble or something? Yeah, probably. Though the kids should know the truth, but from both parents, and hopefully the kid is wise enough to weed out the lies. Eventually, they usually do. Some learn earlier than others, but yeah, I figured out a long time ago when I first got divorced. There's certain specific things I wouldn't talk about, but for the most part, I just spoke brutal, honest truth to the kids. I felt like they needed to know. Again, with certain topics on certain ages, little kids don't have any business being talked to about sex and stuff like that. That's one thing I've got that I happen to generally side with. The Ron DeSantis's of the world, keeping that bullshit out of the fucking schools. There's no sense in talking, for blue-haired liberal whack or anybody for that matter, talking to a 5-year-old about sex. That is inappropriate, in my opinion. That's highly inappropriate. And it just so happens that they're generally speaking at the moment, the Republicans are generally against that. And I happen to agree. Michaela Shank, abortion is murder, and a lot of people is proud of it. A lot of people are proud of it. Yeah, abortion on demand, using it as a form of birth control. I think it's, hideous. I think it's repulsive to, brag about how many abortions you've got. And as far as like some of the activists, the abortion activists, they do that. I think it's just absolutely sickening. Pepe D's nuts. 43 million views on that video. Hope you got that monetized. I did. Yeah, and it just keeps on growing. It's not a lot. It's not what you think, but yeah, it's Zune. How is Parker? He's good. He's real good. Just so you know, I just don't. That's just another one of those questions that people just ask all the time. He's good. Logan Cochran says hello, Logan. Doozer Chris 619. I do remember you. Okay, yeah, Doozer 619. I saw that video on your boy refusing to take the psych pill. They would put a happy boy on a psychotic drug for wanting to be with his dad. Yep. It's family court for you. It's just policy. Those cops were just doing their jobs. Sucked. That was, I say all the time that Parker versus the Man was the worst day of my life. When Blaine was, that was just the first worst day of my fucking life. When Blaine was handcuffed over and over and over at age 13 and locked up in the goddamn Nick's hospital twice for a week and forced those meds, those were the next and the other absolute worst, sickening days of my life. And thank you for watching. I can't pronounce that. Hands. The font's off for me. I just can't read it. I just watched your son stand up on his mom. LOL. Cool. Thanks. Cadence Phelps, do you think abortion should be made illegal? Again, this is one of those issues where no matter what the solution, there's always going to be rage on the other side. Personally, I think, again, abortion is a terrible thing. I think it does end a life. However, I also believe in independent human rights. And if you own yourself, and I believe all human beings do, then if they want to harm themselves, they have that right. Where does life begin? Does it begin at conception? Does it begin at birth? Does it begin at ejaculation? I don't know. There's no perfect solution to this. So the only thing that I can come up with, that my rational brain can come up with, is a compromise. Like we've talked about here before, in just my opinion, not being a woman, but also respecting individual human rights. You find within the pregnancy, from the conception to birth, from conception, there's going to be, it literally is a clump of cells. There's no heart. There's no heart. It's just two cells. There's no heart. There's no brain that I haven't formed yet. To the end of the pregnancy, there's a full grown baby. Somewhere in the middle there is a place where there's the least amount of pain. Maybe the pain receptors, again, not a doctor, but I don't know when the pain receptors would start. I would imagine it's fairly early on, but not in the very beginning. Just a guess, first few weeks, first couple months, probably nothing, no pain. So my solution, or at least my proposed solution to debate about, is if that is in fact what she wants to do, she has every right in the world to do it. If you're going to do it in the beginning. Try to, human suffering. There's no lack of it. It's everywhere. Why would anybody want to deliberately contribute to it and wait until the day of or the day before you're due? Why wait that long and there's obviously going to be painful. It makes me sick to even think about. So if you've got a couple months, maybe 3 months there to think about if you're ready for this, if you're going to do it in the beginning where there's the least amount of pain possible. That's my compromise, or at least my proposed compromise. LOL, I had to explain to that kid what blue hair was the other day. Such a turd. Sorry for asking. I was curious. It's okay. Zoom. Yeah. If you didn't know, you're new. That's why I don't get mad. That's just, I make it real quick and real short. Michaela, I watched a woman have an abortion on live TV, and she was so proud of it. She was like, yeah, this is my 6th one. See, that's just disgusting to me. That is abhorrent. People like that should, in my opinion, be shunned from society. They're like the evil parent, mother or father, that keeps away a good mother or a good father on purpose, just out of spite, because they do have the courts conned or on their side. Those are the type of people that's like Michaela saw on TV, that she was proud of it, like it's her 6th one. Shun them for society. Don't have anything to do. I don't care if I assume she's probably attractive. Men, if you know that that's how she is and she's pretty, don't give her the time of day. Next. Don't do business with them. Don't associate with them. Don't do them any neighborly favors. Shun these type of people. Because if enough people actually did that and treated scumbags like this lady here, not you, Michaela, the one she saw on TV, enough people treated the scumbags as they deserve to be treated, they might straighten up their fucking acts. Again, he's fine. He's just fine. Panna, what I just had to bring forward. What was the worst cop you dealt with during the issues with any of your kids? Good question. Since any cop I've ever dealt with regarding my kids were all on camera and they knew they were on camera. I think, especially once the Blaine stuff started happening, like I went to protest. I'd already announced the night before, trying to get as many supporters to come out and help me as I could. I was going to be protesting at the Knicks. They all knew I was coming because I got that one cop. He on camera, he's like, you can't park it. They knew I was coming. They were warned. And since they were warned that I was coming, that also told me they probably knew that they were being recorded, not by just me, but any other cameras that I might have set up other people, friends helping me, different camera angles. So it's just one of those things where if they know they're being watched outside even of their own body cam, then they're just like any other human. They're generally going to be careful on how they behave and things they say, and particularly what they do. So I never had any cop physically get violent with me. The most violent they ever got was when they actually put Blaine in handcuffs. That's probably the most asshole one I ever dealt with. Okay, yeah, okay, so yeah, it'd have to be him, the one where Blaine's gets arrested. San Antonio Police Department, they were absolutely corrupt to the core. I've never heard a good story coming out of the SAPD. Anyone I've ever talked to that has any kind of significant dealing with the San Antonio Police Department, absolutely, and the Sheriff's Department as well, they're just as corrupt, just absolutely corrupt to the core. The Sheriff's Department, there for a while, like every couple 3 months, they'd have another sheriff deputy, their own deputy, get arrested and thrown in either the city jail or another county jail or even their own county jail. It was a running joke for a while. They haven't made the news, or I haven't noticed it here lately, but there for a while they had, like, I want to say Bexar County Sheriff's Department, that's where San Antonio is, had like 16 or 18 deputies and or jailers get arrested for various all different various crimes: speeding, drunk driving, spousal, hitting. I can't say the SA word. Just doing my job, sir. Mary Townsend Family Court has psych agencies on their payroll, like Nick's Hospital. Damn right they do. You better bet your ass. There's a reason that cop said, when I asked, where the fuck are you taking my son, where is he? In this case, we're going to take him over to the Nicks on Babcock. There's a reason he knew what the Nicks on Babcock was, because that's their go-to. And I'm sure at the time there was some sort of agreement. And fortunately, that no longer exists, because the Nicks Hospital is now debunked and bankrupt and shut down several years ago. Had one of my trolls say, "You moron, Caleb, you act like you had something to do with that." No, I didn't. I said I'm happy to have contributed what tiny little bit that I might happen to have contributed to it. I was proud, even if it was just a little bit of persuasion or a little bit of influence, what little I may had in my little one-person protest with my YouTube channel. Whatever I contribute to the Nicks Hospital going bankrupt, I'm fucking proud of it. Oh my goodness. Ooh, here's a good one. Michaela, do you think that the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas could have been avoided? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was a clusterfuck. I hope those cops, they need to be held criminally responsible for not doing anything about that. That is so egregious and so obvious. They were told to stand down, and they just followed orders, and they stood down while that moron kept mowing people down. Heads are going to roll on that one, because that one was so obvious that, not even weird conspiracy tinfoil hat wearing types like me noticed. Regular parents noticed that. I mean, there were regular everyday parents getting tased and detained for daring to cross the police line when the police told them to stand down, and they did nothing to stop that guy. I hope some heads roll on that one. Renee WHN. Hi all, I'm new here. Glad I finally found this community. Oh man, Caleb, I want you to know I'm sorry for all the crap you've been through. Way to stand up and speak up. Well, hello, Renee, and thank you very much for your kind words, and welcome to my nutty channel. in my crazy little podcast here. And thank you again for your kind words. I hope you enjoy. If you want, Renee, I'm curious, how did you find I assume you found the Parker movie first? Not everybody does it in that order, but I assume, how'd you come across my crazy world? What the world's wrong here? Jiminy Christmas. What that was about. Your Marxcellency, Karl Marx. So the left suddenly knows what a woman is after all they continue to tell us there are infinite genders. Yeah, isn't that amazing? The left suddenly can just define what a woman is. And I think even Kamala Harris has like gotten him. She's fell in some of those traps. It's really strange to watch. I, on the other hand, can identify usually what a woman is. People my age, do y'all remember the Saturday Night Live skit called Pat? Hey, it's Pat. And it was played by an actress named Julia Sweeney, a woman. But Pat, back in the, I want to say his early 90s, when Rob Schneider and Phil Hartman, those type people, it was way after Steve Martin, but the Phil Hartman, Adam Sandler type, that area. Julia Sweeney played the character called Pat, and she was always in these really precarious, weird scenarios where people were like, they couldn't tell if they should say yes, ma'am, or yes, sir. And it didn't make Pat mad, but she was just this weird person. And it was just hilarious because everybody she came in contact with, they just couldn't tell if she was a man or a woman. My God, that would be just voodoo now these days if that was on Saturday Night Live. Your Marxcellency found this channel like most after the Parker incident. Okay, are those typically the types of videos you watch? Crazy X's or something? Panna, why do you think I'll never, one of these days you're gonna have to come on here and tell me how to pronounce your name. Why do you think those cops didn't go in the building? I don't know if I should say, because I'm going to be labeled a true tinfoil hatter. What the hell? I think it was set up that way. I think it was done on purpose. I think there's an agenda, an evil agenda, possibly to confiscate firearms from the American public. And because, nothing gets people riled up more than a school shooting. But I know that's a little far out there and it's really hard to prove, but at the same time, it's not hard to prove that those Uvalde cops were not only ordered to stand down, but they followed their orders and stood down. And we all know the result. Pepe, Pat was creepy. Yeah, but she played Julia Sweeney. That is a great skit. I'm glad they made it. Pat was funny for married. I think it's great. Doozer, do they put kids on ADHD on the same psychological drugs? If so, that should be a topic of discussion. Oh yeah. I know they do. It's not a not a topic I'm real familiar with. I wouldn't mind having somebody on here that was a lot more of an expert than me to talk about that. Johnny Groman, real cops would have put their lives on the line instead of innocent kids in Uvalde, Texas. I hate deadbeat Paxton. I know you do too. Oh, I remember you, Johnny. Yeah. There's no defending those cops. That's what's so strange about this. It usually the usual crowd that Blue Lives Matter, they defend all cops all the time for no matter what. They're looking at this like, whoa, I've always backed the blue, but this is just, the evidence is overwhelmingly horrible for these cops. They can't defend them. And I think it's a big awakening. I don't know if it was all from. I firmly believe if there weren't more, and it's strange that there weren't as many of independent cameras going. I didn't see nearly as much as I thought I would, but thankfully there were enough cameras and regular normal parents who would probably generally, back the blue and go to cop fundraisers or whatever. They're like, huh? Excuse me? What? You're going to arrest me for trying to save my own child? You're not even doing anything, but you won't let me go do it too? Yeah, I think heads need to roll. Jason Barrickman went to Alley Cat's Prepared Life's stream. Sorry for being late. That's okay. I'm not sure what Alley Cat's is. Mary, things were funny then, and no one got offended. Yeah, Mary's probably, I assume, if she's old enough to know about Pat from Saturday Night Live, you probably know about Blazing Saddles. Oh, that was great. Richard Pryor, yeah, that's some good, wholesome, offensive stuff. The stuff we grew up with, it was just amazing. Michaela, I was avoiding the Parker video for a while, and let me tell you, I'm so glad I watched it because I support Parker for going through with his dad rather than his mom. His mom just seemed abusive. Okay. Thank you. Pepe D's Nuts, YouTube pushes your video through the algorithm. I'm grateful. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm grateful that they do push the Parker movie so hard, or I guess they do. I assume they do. But what I've got an inquiry in with YouTube about my reach I just crossed 500,000 subscribers, and my reach, like at the moment, there's 22 people in here, which I'm glad because again, I kind of like it that I can talk to, I can keep up with the comments here, and now I've kind of gotten to know some of these people. Mary's kind of new, but she's been around a while. But Pepe's been around forever, as long as I've been coming on doing these lives. Panna's relatively new, but here lately, pretty much since I started officially doing live podcasts, in a proper setup on a regular basis. He's always been here. I like being able to, and Tori as well. I like the kind of made up friendship, because I know we don't like really know each other, but I enjoy getting to know some of these people. Like I just like, I can always count on Pepe D's Nuts to give me a really nice smart ass answer. Or it's just I assume it's a him. I appreciate the sarcasm, but at the same time, people like me, I'm doing this because I'm good at it or decent at it. I enjoy it, but yeah, I'd love to get a bigger reach. So I've got an inquiry in with YouTube about, it's great that the Parker movie gets promoted so well, but out of 500,000 people, I reach like less than 1% of 1% on my lives. And I'm just curious as to why. Lola Mary, yep. Bingo from Tori. Okay. I'm not sure exactly what you are bingoing and yipping about, but all right, kiddies, we are almost at 2 hours, and I'm just going to end this and remind you, if you're just joining us, I'm about to turn this off, but this coming Saturday, it'll be the second Saturday in a row that I'm going to go live that I wouldn't have normally gone live because even I need a break from this. If you were on here last Saturday, I did my very first formal debate against someone who was vehemently against who I am, my choice as an activist, particularly with the Parker movie on not giving. He's just adamant that I was wrong, and he came on here. He was brave enough to do it. He's since challenged me to a rebuttal. So this coming Saturday, Brian Baxter is going to be back for round 2, and he's apparently really pissed off at me. So he dropped a few F-bombs and calling me a fucking liar. And we're going to go at it again. And if I was reading his language correctly enough, using context clues that I learned in the 5th grade, he's going to he's taking the gloves off, metaphorically speaking, and he's going to be speaking mostly, according to his words, directly to you. I'll go ahead and just put this up real quick right before I get, well, hell, I'm already at the 2 hour, but oh well, I can add this anyways. Okay, yeah, this is from today. Damn, you fucking lied big time. This is from Brian Baxter to me just today. Let's do this again on this Saturday so I can wipe the floor with your lying ass. It will boost your viewership even more. This time I will speak directly to your viewers, so there won't be no softball neither. Count on it. I went easy on you because it was your show. I will bring the fucking, oh, I'm sorry. I will bring the heat this time, fucking liar. I said, okay, sounds great. I'm already booked for tonight. So you can do tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. And why is it not going to the next clip? There it goes. No, I can only do it on weekends, Saturday or Sunday. Unlike you, I have a real job and don't get off work until 10 p.m. I said, okay, Saturday. Then, excellent. Tell your viewers, this is me doing what I'm told. Tell your viewers I'm coming back for another Caleb Leverett CL ass whooping, and be sure to tune in. And of course, in perfect Notorious Dad fashion, I just gave it a beautiful, lovely little heart. So I'm really excited. We get to come back for round 2 this weekend. We're going to get to see the real Brian Baxter. He's going to really tell me what he feels, which is what I wanted in the first place. Maybe it's my fault. I didn't make myself clear. Again, this was my first time doing this. So I promised to give Brian the same treatment as I did last time, the opportunity. I'm going to try. I've learned a little bit from it. I'm going to make sure I did do my best to give both of us equal time to talk and state our sides. And we shall see how it goes. I've got a feeling it's going to be quite a bit different, but I also have a feeling I'm going to smoke his ass again because I'm that confident in who I am as a father and as a family court activist. I know my case and I know my shit, and I am completely 100% sober. Come at me with brain fog. You will lose every time in a debate. All right, kiddies, I've enjoyed it. Take care. Don't hit your cheerings, and I will see y'all tomorrow at 8:00 p.m. Eastern. If you would, pass this along to somebody you know that might get some good out of the things that I talk about here. Also, I'm still working on subscribership. Maybe if you get bored, when you get off of here, before you leave, give it a thumbs up. It really, I know YouTubers say that all the time. It gets annoying, but it really does help out a little bit. Maybe unsubscribe, resubscribe back, hit the notification bell. So anyway, kiddies, I shall see y'all tomorrow. Don't hit your cheering.